Honestly, we've got so many great restaurant choices. It can be very difficult on choosing a great restaurant, a place to go get dinner. I've got the place for you tonight. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Now, you South Shore folks, before you go, I'm not going to Mandeville. It's 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center. It's not 30 minutes. It's not 40 minutes. There's no driving on the North Shore. You cross the causeway immediately on your right behind that Shell station, by the Aquista Pace Grocery. Gallagher's 527. Two things are going to happen if you come from the South Shore and go to Gallagher's. One, you're going to go, Corey's right on the money. It is one of the finest restaurants in Metro New Orleans, and it's got an absolutely great menu. Everything I've had is fantastic. Not good, not very good. Fantastic. Great service, great atmosphere, fantastic food. And the second thing, Corey's right. It's going to be on our regular schedule now. Even though we live on the South Shore, we'll be heading across the causeway 25 minutes from Lakeside to get to Gallagher's 527, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, like me. I discovered Gallagher's 527 about 15 months ago. A buddy of mine sends me a photo of 4 lamb chops in this oval plate sizzling in butter. I could tell they were sizzling in butter by the photo. Beautiful double-cut lamb chops. I'm like, damn, where's that? Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. I was there 3 days later eating those lamb chops. And I've been there like 15 times in the last 15 months or so. Sit at the bar, get lunch, go for dinner with friends and family, a date. It is fantastic. You're missing out. Not just promoting, hey, it's Corey talking about a client, a restaurant. One of the best restaurants in this city. You'll love it. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Stay tuned to the program. Maybe tomorrow I'll be talking about it. Might tell you some items on the menu that are fantastic. So damn good. I love it. On my top 15, top 20 best restaurants in the Metro list, easily. Every damn thing on the menu is fantastic. Pat Gallagher knows what he's doing. You don't believe me? Talk to anyone you know that lives on the North Shore. Mandeville, Covington, Lacombe, Madisonville. Mention Gallagher's 527 to them and see what they say. 5 o'clock powwow on this wide open Wednesday brought to you by Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. It is a wide open Wednesday. You're the show producer. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Governor Jeff Landry today, just earlier today, was asked about the LSU head coaching search. Governor Jeff Landry was asked if LSU athletic director Scott Woodward would be the person selecting the head football coach to replace Brian Kelly. Jeff Landry says, and I quote, "No, I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'd let Donald Trump select him before I'd let Scott Woodward do it." Like Jeff Landry, no, Scott Woodward's not making the selection, and no, I have absolutely no confidence in Scott Woodward as an athletic director. That's basically what Jeff Landry's saying. He also talks about taxpayer money and fiscal responsibility. My role is about the fiscal effects of firing a coach under a terrible contract. Like another punch in the mouth to Scott Woodward. Governor Jeff Landry does not like Scott Woodward. Now, the other day, when Scott Woodward said, after the A&M game, after the loss, I decided to fire Brian Kelly. And on the show Monday, I said, Scott Woodward did not make that call by himself. No way, no how, no shot. And we've heard all kind of conflicting stories on Scott Woodward and how he handled this, but I can guarantee you, Scott Woodward, after the Texas A&M game, did not say, I'm firing Brian Kelly and it's my choice and don't have to consult with the Board of Supervisors. We don't have an LSU president. Better call the governor. No, I said Scott Woodward did not make that call. And I said Scott Woodward's not going to make the call on who replaces Brian Kelly. And Governor Jeff Landry verified what I was saying just earlier today. Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'd let Donald Trump do it before I'd let him do it. Jeff Landry's like basically saying Scott Woodward sucks. and then busts his chops a second time with the terrible contract.
I mean, that was a terrible contract, but I'm just laughing at the thought of Trump selecting the LSU head coach. I don't do a good Trump impression.
Let's make LSU great again.
Make LSU great again.
Let's make LSU great again by hiring a great coach.
Masluga.
I'm going to hire a winner, not that Kelly guy. Wow.
Terrible. I do a terrible Trump.
Hey, Tiger fans, Glenn Guilbeau is going to join us, editor of Tiger Rag. He's only been covering LSU athletics for like 35, 40 years. I don't know who is active in the profession that's been covering LSU athletics longer. Who would it be, Mario Brothers? We had Rabelais on the other day.
Hannity and Ott have been at it a long time.
Had Hannity and Ott on the other day.
Yes.
I mean, we've had the guys that have been in Baton Rouge for 33, 4 decades.
Those are the best. Maybe like Ron Higgins.
Higgins would be good. Guilbeau's right there.
He's been around. Rabelais's been around for a long time.
Rabelais on, yeah. We've had him on. Maybe I'll get Higgins on.
You've had some solid Baton Rouge guests, man.
No, the ones that know LSU athletics and are fair and objective about it.
Exactly. And are ears to the ground. Like, they're right there.
I love Charlie Hennegriff's comment when I was like, Charlie, got to get this right this time. No, they don't. LSU football is going nowhere. They'll fire the next guy if it's a failure and go again. He's absolutely right.
I loved his insight. He's like, I've seen 7 of these.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Me, like, professionally, quote unquote, I've seen like 3 of these, and he's kind of right. Like, either way, it's going to repeat itself if the next coach messes up.
Yeah. Now, I can't say professionally, but remember when I was a kid, I remember them firing Charlie Mack, and I love Charlie Mack, and he just won the Tangerine Bowl, and they fired him. And then I remember Stovall just up and down. He's like 8-3, 3-8, 8-3, 3-8, just like up and down. They fired him. And then Arnsparger comes in, and he left on his own. And Arnsparger goes, promote Archer. And then Arnsparger goes to Florida and becomes AD and hires Steve Spurrier. It's like, oh, and promote Archer. Why didn't you go hire Archer to Florida? And LSU gets Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Archer getting fired, Curly Hallman getting fired, Jerry DiNardo getting fired, Saban going to the Dolphins, Miles getting fired, Ogeron getting fired, Kelly getting fired. That's like a criticism. 6 of the last 7 coaches LSU has had were fired.
Yeah, that's normal.
And you could go farther back than that. Yeah. It would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 of the last 9.
Yeah. That's a fair criticism, but I feel like that's true in most places.
Probably so when you break it down.
Yeah, I mean Saban.
Or they're not winning; they don't have a high expectation of winning.
No, Saban left to go to the NFL. Miles flirted with leaving a couple of times. Almost went to Michigan. He was from Michigan, so there's a little.
Got to go coach my damn good football team, and then went and ripped Georgia in the SEC title game.
That was legendary. We always say Les is like underrated. That was a legendary.
Les is underrated and underappreciated.
For him to just get up there, refute the ESPN report, and just go out there, kick ass, and have enough luck to get into the championship. Like,
this is how flaky LSU fans are, Mario Brothers. Hey, if Lane Kiffin's the coach, maybe they'll bring Ed Ogeron back as D-line coach. I'm like, wow, we're on 1's tee right now, and you're worrying about the putt on 11. On 11's green. Haven't even teed off on 1 yet. Don't even have the head coach yet. You're worrying about Ogeron coming back as D-line coach. Now, those folks that are all like, Ogeron, we love him. And I'm like, cool. And what, you're going to bring Les Miles back as O-line coach? They would vomit if you said that.
No, yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you're telling me Ogeron's better than Les Miles? I mean, it's just like, let's pretend they're the same. Why the disdain for Miles and the love for Ogeron? I mean, I don't know about you, Mario. I lived through both of those. And I know you did too. I shouldn't say I don't know about you. We lived through both of them. Every year, Miles's teams were like almost, what was there, 11 years? Mm-hmm. Like 9 of the 11, they were national title contenders. The LSU Alabama game was for years, not 2 seasons, 3, like 6 or 7, the most highly anticipated college football game of the year. Clearly.
Yes.
Clearly. Miles was tremendous. Was he weird and too conservative on offense and, eating grass and stuff like that? Sure. But he was a winner, and he brought a lot of competitive teams, lots of pro players. He was ridiculously successful and gets beat up and ignored and abused. And Ogeron wasn't as successful and is beloved.
As somebody who loves and reveres Coach O, that is a very unfair standard. Like, Les should be remembered as the same, if not better.
He just really, he doesn't get any respect.
Yeah, no,
at all. Like, he's like, inferior and he sucks.
It is kind of, I don't know, like fair, unfair with all the legal stuff that he's been somewhat vindicated from since then. It just really ruined his perception.
The 19 team, the greatest season ever, but the greatest regular season. The 2012 team under Les Miles, second greatest regular season in the history of LSU football, one of the greatest regular seasons in the history of college football. And that was all Miles's recruits. There were a bunch of NFL players. It was an incredible team. No, Les Miles deserves a little more respect, Tiger fans. A little flaky when it comes to Miles.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Artificial turf, custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
This is a hell of a lot easier than when I delivered pizza in New Orleans. What the hell? We're all just blocking the street. We're all just blocking the street. Come on, I gotta deliver this pizza. We're all just blocking the street. Screw it. We won't stop blocking the street. Never stop blocking the street.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
My goodness, what a glorious weather afternoon. Finally, a fall-like afternoon, a fall-like day. When I woke up, it was 57 this morning. The breeze has been blowing all day, like not 5 miles an hour, like pretty good breeze, 10 miles an hour or so. And low humidity. Right now, 65 degrees, 46% humidity. Feels like 50-something out there. Get outside, enjoy it. Sun's about to drop out of the sky in like an hour. Wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Big week. A lot of it going on in Baton Rouge. We bring this guy on board just because he knows it as well as anyone. He's been covering LSU athletics for like 35, 40 years. and he's fair and objective, and he's not out to kiss anyone's rear end, and he's not out to bash or go attack anyone. I think he does a great job covering a sport that a lot of fans can get kind of volatile towards media members that do their job. Talking about Glenn Guilbeau, editor-in-chief at Tiger Rag. How you doing, Glenn?
Good. Good afternoon, Corey.
Yesterday, Mario, I was on Tiger Rag Radio and Glenn was on. I said, y'all bring anyone on the program. Glenn attacks me. Dude, you didn't go to Missouri journalism school because you can't formulate sentences. You just went at me, Mario, attacked me.
You're misquoting me, man. I just feel bad for you guys that had to go to LSU because you couldn't get into the other schools.
right when Glenn says it, I'm like,
I know, right?
Oh boy. Right when Glenn said Missouri, I'm like, wait, that's a really good journalism school. I better just shut up. That was a stopper. How you been, Glenn?
Busy, man. Busy today. I'm in the Capitol right now. If you hear some echoes, I'm in the historic state Capitol basement where the pit is, where all the journalists work.
What brings you to the state Capitol today?
Well, Jeff Landry had a press conference about the nutrition program that's underfunded now because of the federal shutdown. And but during that press conference, later on, he was asked about his role in the firing of Brian Kelly, and I asked him if Scott Woodward was still going to be hiring the new coach, and he said no. That's huge news. It just broke this afternoon. Jeff Landry basically fired Scott Woodward from finding the new coach. He's still the athletic director, but he's not going to be hiring the new coach. It's going to be the board of supervisors, and you can bet Landry.
Yeah, exactly. And Governor Jeff Landry. No, that's a great question. And it wasn't, he didn't just say no, as you know, Glenn, you were there. Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'd let Donald Trump do it before I'd let him do it. And then later says, terrible contract. So basically, in between the lines, Jeff Landry's like, hell no, I'm not letting that LSU athletic director pick a coach. He did it before, and the contract was terrible. This guy's terrible. I'm not letting him do it. That's what I got out of Jeff Landry's comments.
Yeah, and Landry also brought up that Woodward hired Guilbeau Fisher, which I was impressed that he knew that. A lot of people don't remember that. So that's two hugely bad contracts in a row by Woodward as far as the buyout is concerned, and both coaches didn't do well. So, ordinarily I don't like when politicians and governors get involved in football situations at LSU, because they always do, going back to Huey Long, Edwin Edwards, Bobby Jindal a little bit. But I think this is a situation where they need Landry to get involved so that Woodward doesn't do this for a third time. I mean, I totally understand it this time, because you got an athletic director who thinks he's going to hire the next coach, and somebody stopped him, and somebody needed to stop him. I think a lot of people at LSU, fans and people around LSU, didn't want Woodward to hire the next coach. Maybe they didn't want Landry to be the one to stop it, but that's what happened.
Glenn Guilbeau is with us, editor of Tiger Rag. He's been covering. How long have you covered LSU, Glenn? I know you went away for just a few years, but I would have to say like 35 years you've covered LSU.
Yeah. Probably about 32. I covered Alabama in the state of Alabama at the Mobile Register and the Montgomery Advertiser for about 5 or 6 years. Covered Auburn for a year, and then from 2021 to 2024, I was a national writer at Outkick, which is under Fox Sports, and I covered the national college football, but mainly the SEC. Didn't do much on LSU at that time.
Glenn Guilbeau's with us. Hey, Glenn, I think the governor's full of crap on this. You just mentioned he knew Guilbeau Fisher in that bad contract. He knows that LSU and the athletic department is funded from donors and boosters. I mean, rarely, and if it happens, LSU will mention it, but rarely do they say this, building was built with taxpayer money and money from TAF. So when Governor Landry says, if a billionaire wants to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find 53 million, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. My role is about the fiscal effects of firing a coach under a tailboat contract. All I care is what the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for. So I don't believe he knows that the taxpayers aren't going to be on the hook. He's sort of trying to justify that meeting at the governor's mansion. And then he says, when asked about it, was he involved in the firing and making a decision? No, I hosted a meeting at the governor's mansion to talk about the legalities, to talk about the cost, to talk about who pays for it, to talk about what the effect of it is. It was a meeting to discuss the legalities of the contract. I don't believe that at all. Could have had a flunky that works for him call and do it over the phone line about the legalities of the contract. It was Jeff Landry asserting himself into this firing of Brian Kelly. Do you agree with that or not?
This is why I call LSU Lying State University and have for years, because it's really hard to find the truth sometimes. You try to vet stuff, but if everybody's lying, you're vetting lies with other liars. And I always remember the great Ross Dellinger when he left the LSU beat to go to Sports Illustrated a few years ago. He said that the most difficult part of his job was dealing with the lies. And he was only on the beat for 5 years. I've been on it for 35, So it's hard rooting through all that to find the truth. But I still think Landry has a good point because, he names the board of supervisors. He's heavily involved in LSU and he kind of oversees the board. And they get boosters to pay for the football coaches and all that. But, that's still a lot of money to be paid to a coach that's not working. And that money that this booster is going to pay off Kelly with, that could be used for the next coach.
Yep.
It's still a drain and that's a drain on A&M, which has a lot more money than LSU. And they have to go cheap on their next coach, and now with NIL, that 52 million Kelly may get, that could be used for NIL, or something else. So it's still, I know what you're saying about the taxpayer thing, but it's still good that somebody is there to kind of slap Woodward's hand, after making so many mistakes, I feel.
No, I think it works out, Glenn, and I can't argue with that, but I think generally speaking, you don't want a governor involved in the coaching search. I think two things. Urban Meyer mentioned it. It could scare off some coaches potentially that you have a governor of the state involved in this. But two things, I think. One is